I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Yep, you want your boy? Go pick him up. He's over here on a fucking concrete where I left him.
On an individual level, we have to learn that they are vile.
Not worth calories.
And you're Gen Z and you won't date me.
The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
Gentlemen, welcome. Please find a seat and relax. We have a lot to discuss. Welcome one and all. I'm KC.
And I am DC.
And we are two goddamn gentlemen, bringing to you this and every week a celebration of all things being perfect at everything you've ever tried in life and being Kim Jong-Il.
Two amazing men. Truly.
I really enjoyed last week's show, DC. That was a good time, but we'll get into how they stand in a moment. Head over to twogoddamngentlemen.com to cast your ballot in the Hall of Gentlemen voting booth and decide where these assholes go. And find a link to our Twitter, a link to our YouTube, and a link to our Patreon, where you gain access into our live Discord during all free and bonus episodes. We're doing a Ladies of the Night episode every other week, and DC, they are better than our normal shows.
They are better than our normal shows. Last night, we, without getting into too much detail, Lindsay Lohan. Do I need to say more than that? Lindsay Lohan and maybe the most prolific serial killer on earth, besides God.
I think my favorite set of honorary gentlemen or ladies that we've ever done. It was a good one.
Oh, so funny. So funny.
DC.
Yes.
Voicemails can be left for the show at 321-POV, F-U-C-K. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast feed you use. And now, you know, the shilling. If it's Apple Podcasts, you leave a 5-star rating and a review of the least painful liquor to throw back up.
There you go. For me, it would definitely be Malibu. It comes out nice and smooth.
That makes it Jägermeister, also an option. DC,
Ooh.
if you would please. It's cool on the way back. Read back the minutes to last week's meeting.
Casey, so we heard about him. Kim Jong-Il, perfect at everything he almost tried. +5, a gentleman. How about that? I don't know if everyone would agree, but everybody in North Korea would, for sure.
I will say that I was surprised by one of the results, and it was not that one.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Lance Armstrong? He was not a gentleman, Casey, to the tune of -8. That's pretty bad. Like, there have been really awful people that did not get that bad, but Lance Armstrong is just such a hateable cunt. He's just, you know.
He's a winner, and he's American, DC. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going athlete again tonight, non-American, and I'm bouncing back strong.
Hey, all right.
You want to do top 3 or bottom 3?
Yeah, let's go. I'll do top 3. We got number 1, Harry Vox, again, adding a few to his tally at +83. We've got Mel Gibson right behind him at 73, and Donald Trump still in third with 67. I didn't give you any suspense. You guys knew. As soon as I said Donald Trump, you would have known.
Yeah, I think everybody knew the order there. And then the bottom 3, the order has not changed, but the numbers continue to drop. Jake Paul -135. Commander-in-Chief Joe Biden -176.
We'll get back to him.
And old Tommy Tudor at a -361.
Yeah, I don't know if Tommy Tudor's still alive, by the way. I haven't gone to another message board, or AMB as they like to call themselves, in quite a long time. They are really, really obsessed. When I thought, I dipped my foot into that pool for a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's funny. These guys have 24/7 where they're just making fun of Tommy Tudor. And I realized, wow, they probably have been doing this for 5 years already. And sure enough, I don't go there for months, and then I log back in just to see if we got a mention or something, see if they're listening, because he's obviously the fucking ultimate miscreant, and nothing. They haven't talked about us at all. I'm like, okay, cool. And every single one of the same 8 people is just shitting on Tommy Tudor and still like fucking harassing the
Doing
shit
it
out of
every
him
day.
all the time. So yeah, we were honestly just like a bug on Tommy Tudor's windshield. I thought we really, but other people have not baited him into like coming on to a show and talking to them. So I'll always take pride in the fact that we fucking trolled him that bad after he has had this happen to him 24/7 for fucking years. We got him onto our show. That's awesome.
I still think we handled it as best we could have.
And he still has not answered the question. Still has not answered the question. How many fingers, Tommy? How many?
Think he remembers? He knows.
Yeah, he remembers. It's his most vivid thought.
DC.
Yeah.
I believe you're up first in your gentleman nomination tonight.
Casey, I am up first. I can't wait. Actually, I was panicked because with ladies, I really put a lot of time and effort into the lady nomination. You know, I feel like there's a certain kind of burden on you, a mantle, if you will, when you're closing. You know, you're feeling that tonight. I don't envy you. I get to be drunk and silly, you know. And so I didn't know how much I was going to be able to pull. And I was kind of wavering between two gentlemen. Casey, a gentleman always introduces himself.
It's an honor for me to be here to discuss our top story tonight.
Hey, it's Horse Casey.
Gary Busey. Oh, wow, damn it. Wrong picture. Sorry, next picture, Casey. That's my fault. Gary Busey. Everybody, Gary Busey. Guys, Gary Busey was born in Goose Creek, Texas in 1944. He's 77 years old. He went to Pittsburgh State University. Casey, you familiar with Pittsburgh State University?
It's not in Pennsylvania.
It is out of Pittsburgh, Kansas, of course.
That's right.
And after which he transferred to OSU, Oklahoma State, not to be confused with the OSU. Left school one class shy of graduating. Turns out he had better shit to do. He joined a band as a drummer. The band's name was The Rubber Band. Get it?
Everything is perfect so far. What town was Gary Busey born in?
Goose Creek, Texas.
Of course he was.
Goose Creek, Pittsburgh State, Kansas. He got into acting fairly early on, pretty much while he was still in college. But he got his breakthrough in 1974 with the hit movie Thunderbolt and Lightfoot with Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges. So it's a big deal. Puts him on the map. And in 1976, Barbra Streisand hires him to play a band manager in A Star Is Born. I guess I didn't know that the movie they just made with Lady Gaga was a remake of this one, but this one apparently was already a remake. So who the fuck knows who was in the first one? Aubrey Hepburn or something like that. Anyway, he kills it and gets a huge role in this Buddy Holly biographical.
This is all shocking.
Movie.
This is all shocking that Gary Busey was a good actor at that point. I
Yeah,
did not
dude,
know that happened.
He was nominated by the Academy Awards for Best Actor that year. He didn't win it, but in 78 for playing Buddy Holly. But he did win the National Society of Film Critics Best Actor. Now, Casey, have you ever heard of a group of more douchey people than the National Society of Film Critics?
No,
Imagine going to lunch with that group.
There's actually somehow more vests than people in the room. Yeah. It seems impossible, but it actually does happen in that case.
And you thought that would be like the peak of his, because he's never won Best Actor, so you think, getting nominated for it, that's the peak of his acting career, but it's not. In the 80s, he actually played one of the villains in Lethal Weapon. So just being in that movie is better than anything he's done before that. Just being in a movie with Mel Gibson, is better than doing anything else, I think. I don't know. I think.
Top three gentlemen.
Top three.
That's true.
1988. The accident happens, Casey, and
no kidding. In more ways than one, I'll tell you.
We go to Gary Busey to tell his story. He goes on Letterman a year after the accident, and he's actually, if you've seen Gary lately or the last 10, 15 years, He's actually pretty well put together a year after the accident, I thought, and he explains, what happened to him.
Tell us, update us. It was almost a year ago, right?
December 4th.
December 4th.
December 4th last year, I hit the concrete going 45 miles an hour.
On your bike?
My motorcycle.
Yeah. You weren't jogging.
I wasn't jogging.
Yeah.
I hit a little bit of sand and gravel and went fishtailing, hit my rear brake, and I smashed into the concrete, and I don't remember 7 weeks of my life, and I was in the hospital for 2 months, and they opened me up from here to here and split my skull and scraped the temporal side of my brain, drilled 2 holes here, and I had blood shooting out this far.
Jesus Christ! Jeez, it's a shame you didn't bring any photos, Gary.
David Letterman getting an honorary gentleman spot.
Yeah,
on that one.
he saved it after the first flub that he had there.
So you would think, shit, he's got brain damage. The doctors know this. Gary knows this to some degree. But that didn't stop our gentleman, Casey. In the 90s, Gary Busey continued acting and was a star in Rookie of the Year. He played the fucking disgruntled old pitcher. Whatever his name was. Yeah, whatever.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gary Busey movie. I'm learning so much.
Predator, you might have. Predator 2, he was in Point Break, he was in The Firm, he was in Black Sheep, and he was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Confirmed, though. Yeah, no, I have not seen a Gary Busey.
Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, there's a few on that list you need to see. Starting with Fear and Loathing, I'll tell you the right way to watch it. So the next clip.
I think I know.
The next clip is really where I think Gary solidified his status as a gentleman in the Comedy Central show I'm with Busey, where this annoying little fuck goes around with Gary Busey and just basically acts ignorant to everything that Gary says so that Gary will explain what he's talking about, because it's always funny, like you'll see here.
What's good about this, you suck the oysters up, and you always keep some on your face to let the oysters know that you're proud of it.
Yo, we're from Tennessee.
It's good to yell at people and tell them you're from Tennessee, and that way you'll be safe. We're going to find that magic Indian, and he's not far away. You hear that?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Sometimes horses cough and fart at the same time, so stay out of the back of the range of his butt muscle.
All right.
Because horse's butt muscle is thick. I'm bleeding a little bit, and that's good. You know it's good to drink your own blood? Drinking your own blood is the paradigm of recycling.
Yeah.
You prop my feet up like this.
Okay.
And you'll squeeze my toes for 5 minutes. And then you'll rub my forehead for about 4 minutes, and I want you to sing. Row, row, row your boat.
Oh, I'm so sad the show's over.
That is the best television I've ever seen.
It's so great. But at KC, that's because you haven't seen the UK's Celebrity Big Brother, which Gary was on. Here you go. Enjoy.
No, don't do that to me, Gary.
Sorry.
Do you know something? You're the most ill-mannered person I've ever come across in my life.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no shit, lady. He's retarded. He's going to be ill-mannered.
Yeah.
This is
That's
just
going
very
to happen.
Just very rude of her. Casey, you don't argue etiquette with spastics. We all know this, but she doesn't, and she does continue to, and I think he handled it well.
No.
Stay away from me for the rest of the time that we're in this house. I don't want to speak to you.
Well, that's a great gift you're giving me.
Yeah.
Fucking pimp, dude.
Oh, Gary rules. There were a couple of honorary gentlemen. Well, actually, one of them sucks. But the other one might have to make an honorary gentleman out of, who actually broke into that house, the UK Big Brother. They're like those people that YouTube and break into places and climb tall buildings and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude stripped naked and sat in the hot tub in that center courtyard until they came.
That is a good honorary. We got to find out if there's some clips on that.
There is. I've seen them.
Perfect.
They're pretty good. We'll have to bring that in.
So, Casey, this last bit of video I wanted to bring in was Gary Busey being interviewed about his role in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, specifically about Hunter S. Thompson, I guess. I don't know if he knew him before he killed himself or when he killed himself, if the interview was while he was still alive. I don't think it was. But anyway, the point of this is that Gary Busey will be interviewed the way Gary Busey wants you to interview him.
Fear and Loathing Las Vegas with you as the policeman. How did it play out?
Start over. Call my name like you just got here. Here's the deal. I'm just sitting here. I'm out here by myself.
You come in and you say, Gary, and I turn and look and sit up, and you introduce yourself to me and tell me what you're doing and ask me if it's okay.
Is this guy the president right now?
Hey.
Gary?
Yeah.
Tom Thurman.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Fine. How are you, man?
I've been great. What brings, what, did you just walk in?
Oh, just give him the award. just give it to him.
Oh,
Best
DC,
acting.
that's a really good one.
Best acting I've ever seen. I'm going to use that a lot.
That's awesome. I love that
Casey.
one. MEDC.
I really wanted to end with the best clip, and I think this one really just sums up Gary Busey in one clip.
That's the way I like it, you know. Just ambitiously meet people and be hospitable. What's going on?
I'm
That
directing.
dog? That dog is barking? That is not my dog.
All right. Gary Busey,
That's
everybody.
Good to know.
Gary Busey.
Oh, man. Oh, he's great. Wow, I learned a little bit about Gary Busey there. I didn't expect that today.
Yep. So, Gary Busey, gentleman now and forever. I don't know how much longer he's going to live, but man, he is all types of crazy. All types of fucking retarded
He's
now.
looking good, though. Still looks good.
Does he? He's got one eye that's like up
Compared
here
to
and
what
one
I
eye that's like,
Yeah. compared to awful looking things, he looks fine.
compared to awful looking things, he just fits right in.
Compared to awful looking things, they're like, well, those are the same picture. You gotta. Okay. It's not a comparison at all. DC, you got some honoraries tonight?
I do. I have a couple. We're going to start with an honorary that's also a gentleman update. Our president was at some kind of press conference answering questions and taking some heat. One news reporter told him, Americans are waiting for relief, Joe. What do you have to say to the Americans that are waiting for relief? Before Joe gives his answer, I'll tell you what I'm going to say to Americans waiting for relief. Get a fucking job. Like, go work. People are trying to hire you. Just go do it. That's, I don't have much sympathy for you. Just, go do it.
That'll get it done.
That'll get it done.
Sound advice, actually.
Yeah.
Write that down.
But this is Joe's response. And, it drew some ire, I think.
People are waiting for relief. I got them $1.9 trillion relief so far.
What the fuck? Why is he? Yeah, he's whispering like ASMR style. Like, I already gave them 1.9 trillion bazillion gajillion dollars. It's all monopoly money anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm just printing it. That dog down there. That's not my dog. That's not my dog. I raped my dog in the shower. That's how I broke my hand. Ask anyone. That's how it happened. He was pulling his dog's tail while he was in the shower, like butt naked. Like, what the fuck are you? Joe Biden. He hurt himself in the shower because he was pulling his dog's tail or something like that. I don't know, to get a better look. I have no idea, like, what he was really doing.
That feels like a lie, but why would you make that up?
Yeah, right.
What?
Oh, I was in the shower and my dog accidentally ran in and knocked me over. Oh, okay. Understandable, silly dogs. We still love them, though. Not pulling his tail.
Sometimes I like to soap up the linoleum and let the German Shepherd pull me around the apartment.
Oh, yeah. We call it Bulgarian skiing. It's fantastic. So I have a spin on this, why he was doing this. I think he's answered this question maybe like 20 times already. And what's more powerful? Saying to somebody, hey, you know what? Shut the fuck up. Or if you're like, hey, shut the fuck up. I think the second way is much more, vindictive and like in their face. And I don't know. He does it again. So maybe you can see if you think, right, let's play the next one. See if you can see it.
I'll reserve judgment. We'll see where this goes.
Okay.
Don't dismiss it at all. Just remind him, I wrote the bill on the environment. Why would I not be for it?
Pimp.
I guess.
I don't know.
Because he whispered it. I'm going to whisper my whole.
It's because he's the president of America. And you know what? You didn't vote for him, but he's your president anyway. So you need to bow down to Joe Biden's. because the new world order is upon us, Casey. We can't be saying these terrible things anymore.
That's right. I have some. I already have an update for the next lady show with a Kamala clip from today.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Well, I have another clip because pimps come from all nations, Casey, not just this one. And wouldn't you know it, even Poland has a pimp or two there, one of which is Dominic Tarzinski. Go ahead with the next clip. He's on CNN, I think.
How many refugees has Poland taken?
0.
Boom. Take that. But, a gentleman will go on. He'll explain himself.
And you're proud of that?
We don't want any illegal migration in Poland. This is what we promised. This is why our government was elected. And not even one Muslim illegal migrant will come to Poland, ever.
For those, we have the European responsibility, our governments, and we as citizens, to protect them and to help them,
Take them all.
to make Europe accessible.
So take them. Take them all.
To make Europe accessible.
Oh, I'm moving to
great.
Poland.
I have a few honoraries before I launch into my gentleman. My first honorary, DC, is it's a special one because it's not only an honorary gentleman, but also, in many ways, moreover, an honorary lady. And we have many people checking out the show that aren't on Patreon and aren't seeing these bonus shows. So I figure, let you in on a little bit of lady action too, because those are our favorite episodes, as you would imagine.
Oh yeah.
So the honorary gentleman in the video is filming the honorary lady. Now, why would he be doing this? It's his Tinder date. Why would you film your Tinder date? Well, because this young lady is piss drunk, DC, and our gentleman was there to capture it.
Oh, good.
No, you stop.
Yo, fuck you and you fucking whore-ass bitches.
Alright, so down she goes. She stayed down on the ground for a while. They try to help her up. At one point, the video stops and comes back, and now she's in bushes. I don't know how that happened. The whole thing was a mess.
I think we all know how it happened.
My read on the situation is that this guy was like, I don't know what to do. He lives in a house with a bunch of his buddies. And he's like probably texting them like, I don't know where this bitch is from. She's falling all over
She's
the place.
way too fat for this date to
so
go any further,
That's right. So his move is, all right, bring her back to our house and put her on the couch in the living room, put a blanket on her, let her sleep this off, right?
Right.
She does not stay there long. And DC, the moral of this story is just don't do nice things for people ever.
You think you want to fuck with me?
No, I don't.
You think you want to fuck with me?
No, I don't. I don't want to fuck with you.
You want to bet?
You should not.
No.
Stop.
He's drunk too.
Hello?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Emergency! Emergency! Emergency!
Good call, lady. You handled that well.
Great job, white women. You've done it
by
again.
the way, the poor black guy who lives in the house, who was the one standing next to her at that moment at the end of the clip.
Yeah, he's like, shit.
He read this situation so quickly, he immediately turns. He's like, we can't have this.
Yeah.
Call the police right now. Like, he was like, no. This could look so bad. Honorary number 2, DC. This is a quick one. But all I have to say is, just thank God this exists. America. Just a man riding a bicycle firing a fucking automatic weapon. It's what
While
everybody
being
needed
black.
today.
Just as free.
That's right. That's exactly right. DC, our next honorary, we have a state trooper, from the looks of it, making a stop for speeding. And right off the bat, you can tell there's an issue.
Can you breathe? Get out. Can you
Telling the guy to get out. Oh, he can't breathe. Okay, so a little bit of Heimlich maneuver. Not going well, right? This is a bad
Not
start.
going well.
So he tries the Heimlich, and that doesn't go well. So then he tells the guy to throw up. He's like, "Oh, you got to throw up. Well, I don't know. Can you breathe? Are you choking?" He doesn't even know what's going on. So the guy goes to the back. He tries to throw up. That fails. So back to the Heimlich. Now, a couple things I need you to watch here. First, watch the guy teach the cop how to do the Heimlich while he's the one choking. But then listen for why he choked. Throwing up didn't work. The hands go all the way up here. Up there, brother. There you go. That's better.
Oh!
Goes.
What'd you swallow? Grandma weed, officer. I'm sorry. Get out.
Say he swallowed his weed?
He swallowed his weed. He swallowed his weed, DC.
Oh, man. Wrong hole, dude. Wrong hole. You have to talk out of that hole. Like, you have to use that hole to breathe and shit like that. Unless you need to shit, you really don't need to use that. Or if you're gay, you really don't need to use that hole at all, ever. Right. So just stuff your weed there real quick. Even in just the crack, under your ball sack. Just there's a nice little triangle pocket right up in there. Just
right in the gooch. There it goes. DC honorary number 4, not the branch you were expecting.
Oh, yes.
So he did a good job.
I hope that he had planned that out beforehand and actually examined the branch. He's like, yeah, I'm going to jump to that one. Perfect.
There was no plan.
That'll hold 200 pounds. No problem.
Next up, we have a young honorary gentleman, DC.
Okay.
And the joys of youth and the joys of sledding.
Oh!
Now,
man.
For a moment, let's focus in on the voice crack at the beginning.
Oh, God.
So not a great one. And one final honorary, DC. This is one of my favorite ones I've seen in a while.
Can I just say that there was no way that was going to go well for any of them? There were 10 poles sticking up across the
poles there?
Why were they sledding into it at such a high rate of speed?
So, final honorary. Good question. Final honorary. We have a liquor truck in the parking lot of a liquor store, and it's being unloaded, and an honorary gentleman approaches and is peeking around. All right, so he's looking, he's thinking, I grab myself a case here. This looks great.
Oh, that's Russia,
delivery guy throws him to the ground. Glass shatters everywhere. He seems, delivery guy seems upset, but what a
what
jerk.
Did he think was going to happen?
Don Zimmer all over again. You hate to see that, but a gentleman never gives up. And in this scenario, it's going to go bad for one of these two guys. And let you find out which one.
Okay.
Decides, I can grab one bottle still.
Oh, the camera guy.
And the guy
bad
throws
for the camera guy.
And hits the car instead. Maybe fake. Well,
no, it's Russia. That was real as fuck.
It probably was. Yeah. DC, it is nomination time for me.
Let's do it.
And it is the notorious Conor McGregor. Now, let's get the formalities out of the way.
Sure.
Irish, we know.
Yeah.
UFC. Yeah. Businessman. Yeah. Featherweight champion. Lightweight champion. Did it both at the same time. Started in Ireland, Cage Warriors, right? All these different things. A couple of the big ones we'll get out of the way, just to cover the bases. Biggest pay-per-view draw in MMA history. He's headlined 5 of the 6 highest-selling UFC events ever, which is pretty crazy. His Khabib fight did 2.4 million pay-per-view buys, which is the most ever. His boxing match with Floyd drew 4.3 million, which is the second biggest boxing pay-per-view ever.
That's crazy. What was the first biggest? Tyson Holyfield?
I'm guessing it was Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Oh, that'd be sad if it was.
That's my guess.
You're probably right.
Forbes 2021, he's the highest paid athlete in the world at 180 million. He's not even winning. But we all know all of that. We all know all of that. The fighting, the suits, the walk, the mouth. He's a
The
gentleman.
father
of the way.
beating his mother, the alcoholism, boring,
all of it.
eating potatoes.
But let's make it official, DC, as always, by showing the resume that earned him the nomination. We begin in 2015. Conor has just defeated Dennis Seaver and also called him a Nazi. You know, can't include
Well,
everything.
Can't be
We had
German
some
and walk around like that, you know?
YouTube cucked us out from some tweets I showed before, so I'll be careful on that. So he's moving on from Dennis Seaver, and it's time for Jose Aldo and DC, the head games, they begin.
Oh, yeah.
Otario, Otario, Otario. You know what that means? Pussy.
Just the best. The thing about Conor is he says things that most people would not say, and some of it you can tell he thought about beforehand, and this is a good example of that.
I own this town.
Rio de Janeiro, by the way.
I own Rio de Janeiro.
Okay,
so for him to say he is the king and I am the joker, if this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to walk. But we are in a new time, so I'll whoop his ass in July.
I couldn't find a reason to use the horse KC, but he said horseback, so I had to. I used it.
There you go.
So we know this. He fucked with Aldo a ton. He stole his title belt. He knocked him out in 13 seconds. Aldo looked miffed going into the fight.
Yeah.
Fastest ever title fight, new champ. So we move on to what I think was his second best rivalry. And rivalry's not the right term because I think the best one was a one-off fight. So let's call it build-up.
Right.
We move to Nate Diaz.
Yes.
Now, this press conference seems to be not be going well, but seems to be going average for a Conor McGregor press conference. Nate's leaving.
Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you'll do nothing. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And the famous moment, the water bottle toss.
Yeah.
There
Fuck
it goes. And now, please listen for Dana White's laughable attempt to keep this from happening.
That's all right. Hey, Conor, don't throw those fucking cans. Conor.
Ow.
Conor, okay, Conor, can you please? Oh, Conor.
He's throwing.
I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry.
Conor and Nate were great together. Here they are getting ready for a TV interview, and the host is saying, we're going to need, check your mic levels, so we need you both to talk. And there's a very simple way that a TV host will do that with a guest to make them talk to check mic levels without making them think.
Quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5.
I don't know if somebody edited her reaction into there. Like, she might have been laughing at something else, but if she laughed that hard, that fast, that's fantastic.
So funny.
So those two fights are great. Not the best fights, but Nate submits
the first
him
one
in
was
the
great.
first. Nate submits him in the first. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So now we get to my personal favorite, Eddie Alvarez.
Who the fuck is Eddie? Who's Eddie? Eddie's getting his ass whooped and slept.
That's correct. But before that, we have press conferences. Now, before we talk to or hear anything about Eddie, let's play Conor's, and you know what? All press conferences as a whole. Let's play the best moment from any of them.
Take a look around you. You got a lot of champions, a lot of grizzled vets. Who do you think would give you the hardest fight out of anybody on stage?
Right here. Right here, the hardest hitting 145 pound, the real hardest hitting 145er right here. This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't fucking move. They're not, who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
It's just the best. So, as you can tell, he always gets the big crowd cheers, and a gentleman is a man of the people. Conor is a man of the people, and here's proof at the same press conference.
This question is for Eddie Alvarez. You've been mentioning that Conor McGregor is not a championship fighter. He only has 2 to 3 rounds. Yet in your professional career, you've only went to the 5th round twice and lost one of them. What the fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? That's the champ!
This is peak Conor right here. All of this is the height of his powers, DC.
Yes.
His next press conference with Eddie. Conor shows up very, very late. First, he takes Eddie's belt, but then apologizes for why he showed up late. Dance, take the belt.
Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a...
That's a gentleman right there, TC, if I've ever seen one. So the Eddie saga, my personal favorite. He destroyed Eddie, we know that. He knocked him down 3 times, finished him early second round. And following, delivered another classic Conor moment.
Ridiculed everyone on the roster. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
That's right, DC. A gentleman knows his bounds, and his bounds included torturing Eddie Alvarez by putting his arms behind his back.
Yeah.
For half of that fight. Brutal stuff for Alvarez. Just
Wasn't
brutal.
good.
But to be fair to him, I wouldn't know who he was if he didn't make that fight. So good job. Now we move to the biggest fight of Conor's life, Floyd Mayweather. And DC, you say this all the time.
Yeah.
The gentleman always introduces himself. Gentleman always announces his arrival.
I'm just dancing around my boxing ring. This is my boxing ring. I am boxing.
That was rough.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So the lead up to this fight was completely excessive, but thanks to Conor, it was great. Even when he says things that sound a little funny, especially based on the fact that Floyd was the target of this whole thing.
Sing it to me. I want you to sing it to me, and I want you to dance for me. You sing it, you dance. Dance for me, boy.
Not
Oh.
great. Not great. Disavowed.
Well, he's foreign. He's foreign.
I know. Yeah, it's a different language. It's a different tongue, I guess. Now let's bounce back and bury Floyd.
Carrying a school bag on stage. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
Oh, let's bury him twice.
Floyd's got 3.
Yeah,
Floyd's got the one that he got, and he got 2
tax
others.
problems. That's what he's got.
So, a gentleman, at least up to this point, in some ways, we'll cover the other things he was up to. Then came Khabib.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
that's too bad
Conor-
Khabib doesn't have a personality. That's really
Yeah.
too bad.
Conor had some good lines in the interviews and press conferences and stuff leading up. He also had a lot of drunk ones. This is now post proper 12 whiskey coming out. So now he's just drunk all the time. One of the press conferences was a disaster. But all the good lines and everything he had in the Khabib lead up, no win, no love. Sorry, I'm not going to play. Just know that if somehow you were living under a rock, that this happened. Bus goes by. There goes Conor.
Oh boy.
There's a
dolly.
Little dolly through the window. Like Chiesa has got one eye now. And,
Yeah, dude. That was the worst part of that. Mike Chiesa is such a cool guy, and he would have won that fight too.
Yep. He eventually
Oh,
sued
well.
Conor. I think he got some money out of it. He'll be fine.
Yeah, everybody does.
So, that being said, DC, Conor has had some issues outside the cage, as we just showed there. Bellator 187. It was in November of 2017. Conor's teammate Charlie Ward was in a fight in Bellator, and he knocked out Josh Redman in round 1, or so it seemed. Conor jumped into the cage to celebrate the victory, but the fight was not yet officially declared over. He pushed Mark Goddard, the ref. He pushed the guy who got knocked out. He did a lap around the cage. Eventually, a commissioner stepped in, so he slapped that guy. He slapped him again. That was not great. Bellator seemed upset. Same month, pled guilty to speeding. Not a big deal, €400 fine. A few months later, the bus incident. Expanding on that, he was charged with 3 counts of assault, 1 count of criminal mischief there. Further charged with menacing and reckless endangerment. Pleads no contest to a count of disorderly conduct and ordered to perform 5 days community service and, importantly, attend anger management classes, which I'm sure helped. Basically,
imagine if you or I did that. Imagine if you threw a dolly through a bus and it injured Mike Chiesa before a fight. What would happen to you? 5 days of community service, you think?
I would be raped by a guy looking like Michael Chiesa in prison for 4 years. Every day. Yeah. October
But your sentence was only 2 years. You just stayed an extra 2.
He came... I thought you meant he came home with me. That works too. October of 2018. Helped start a brawl with all the Khabib guys at UFC 229. 1 month later, he once again is arrested for speeding. This time, fined 1,000 pounds and his driver's license is taken away for 6 months. So,
no bummer.
That's never great. March 2019. New York Times reports that he's under investigation by the Irish police following allegations of sexual assault. Hashtag #MeToo. A second accuser comes forward. No charges are filed in either case, but he is getting sued, of course. Civil.
Of course.
Naturally.
Yeah.
March 2019. He's arrested in Miami Beach after an altercation in which he's accused of taking a man's phone and smashing it on the ground. He is arrested and charged with strong arm robbery and criminal mischief. Days later, charges are dropped as the man said that Conor, I don't think he did it on purpose. How did he get charged with strong arm robbery then?
I think the guy put his camera right in his face and said, Conor, can I get a selfie? And Conor had enough. He grabbed it and slammed it on the ground. If I were to make a bet, that would be my bet.
And also a safe bet is that Conor paid him off, and that's why that went away. August 2019. This happened. So here we have an Irish pub, Conor in yellow, and he's placing some shot glasses around. Now, this is 2019. Proper whiskey's out now. If you notice, DC, he puts a glass in front of that gentleman, and that gentleman puts it back up on the bar. Almost as if he doesn't want a free shot of proper 12 Irish whiskey. So that seems to cause a problem. So now there's some communication happening, and then it happens quick. But right there, maybe a left-handed shot.
Hey, he took it.
Yeah, better than Jose Aldo,
he took it
for sure.
To the dome. Right in the ear, dude.
Oh yeah, he boxed the ear with the left arm. So just drink the shitty whiskey, first off.
Yeah, seriously.
Now, my favorite part of this is, let's rewatch that, but this time focusing on the bartender, because she imitates one of our Photoshops. The punch, and hold frame. She just stands there with her hands over her mouth for, this is not Frozen, just a long time, TC. Just a long time. She never moved. So he's charged with assault for that one.
Mm-hmm.
In court, it comes out that he's had 18 prior convictions dating back to 2009. Majority of those are driving offenses, but he was given the Probation Act in 2009 when he was an apprentice plumber. He was accused of assault causing harm. And he pleads guilty for that assault. He had to pay a big sum of money, 1,000 pounds.
No, bummer. Man, I gotta move to fucking Ireland.
Just do whatever.
Just go around punching people. Oh yeah, here's $500. Sorry. Sometimes I would pay $500 to just punch somebody I don't like.
Based on movies as a child, I know if you say Marcus of Queensberry rules before you hit them, I think everything's fine. September 2020, McGregor arrested in Corsica on suspicion of attempted sexual assault and indecent exposure. After being held in custody for 2 days, he's released without a charge, and 8 months later, those charges are dropped. So he's just walking around, just getting away with stuff. And he knows it. He knows he gets in trouble. But he also knows other things, DC. He knows some very gentlemanly things.
I have an unhealthy obsession with spending money, but I have a healthy obsession with making it, so it's all good.
That's a gentlemanly thing to say, if I've ever heard
it is.
DC.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up, most recently, we all know he fought Dustin Poirier the other night for the third time. And, as you can see, he hits a high leg kick to the hip bone right there. And what that'll do to a shin that Conor says was fractured previously, Well, what that'll do is that'll, kind of mess with the structural integrity of that shin and ankle. So he throws a little front kick, and then let's just put all that weight right back on that leg after that leg kick. I think everything should be fine. Here we go. Throw that weight back there. Oh, it didn't go well.
There it goes.
Did not go well, but we close with this, DC. Leg snapped. Can't stand. A gentleman never stops.
This is not over. If we have to take this outside with him, it's all outside. We don't give a bollocks.
He said that he believes that one of the kicks that he checked is what broke your leg.
There was no check. There was not one of them I checked. Your wife is in me DMs. Hey, baby, hit me back on my check later on.
A gentleman through and through. Conor McGregor, DC.
Yep.
I enjoyed doing that one. No, a couple of.
How about Joe? How about Joe getting down? Yep. It's got to happen down here. Here we go.
yeah. Just he's committed.
It's too important.
He's committed.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Pretty sure he has interviewed fighters completely knocked out before they've been woken back up again.
He did it to Daniel Cormier.
Yes.
While he was crying like a bitch. That was unfortunate.
DC, tell everybody where they can find everything, including the bonus show from this week.
Go to www.twogoddamngentlemen.com. There you'll find the link to our Patreon, where you will find the links to all of our bonus content, and you'll also be able to get the video version of the podcast the same day as the audio release when you become a gentleman at patreon.com. When you're a goddamn gentleman, $10 a month gets you the live access to all the shows, including the bonus shows, which will happen every other week. Ladies of the Night coming out soon, so look out for it.
DC, we have brought gentlemen, but I'm not sure they're the ultimate one. So I guess we'll push forward. The search for the ultimate gentleman continues.
Something just happened very bad, is what happened, guys.
Wolves aren't gay, USA.
That's what you get for talking all that shit, you fucking asshole.
So there you go. Isn't that a great story, ladies and gentlemen?
Life is an imperfect affair at best.
Andre is shocked.
Bye.
Meeting adjourned.